Hello and welcome to another week of Morak. Last time I got this entire stretch of stuff done, and you can see I'm very quickly running out of table space for this first half of the mock. But I need to now move into this section here to basically bridge this gap, fill around this like corner, like kind of angle here of rock work, and also get down here. Because my plan, which I've gone through before, is because not as much is going on these base plates as will be going over here in this stuff, I need to, it's currently one grey base plate and one green base plate wide this way. I'm going to try and get it to go to two grey base plates wide through, or maybe even wider than that, I'm not sure yet, through a connection I'm planning to do here using hinge plates to get them to come down this way, to kind of have like an angle cut off to make it look bigger. Now, I've never tried this before, so I'm not entirely sure quite yet on what my plan's going to be in order to achieve it. At first, I thought I was going to cut base plates to do it, because that's obviously the most easy way to go about it. But in hindsight, I don't really want to destroy base plates like that. So I think I've got in my head a different method of doing it. I'm just not entirely sure if it's going to work yet. So you're just going to have to bear with me and pray with me that it does in fact work. What's that technique, may you ask? Well, you'll find out after the intro. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is put down this little 16 by 16 base plate here, because this is basically going to work as the normal like connection point between this rock surface and this rock surface, going around this way, and then we're going to work into the angle basically from this point onwards. So this base plate will be largely normal until we get into this corner here, so I'm just going to start with the same base and then the same rock work as what I've done many times before. Hopefully for the last like main bit of rock work on this left side. So that'll be done now. Okay, so I've made a fair bit of progress from the last clip. I basically built that small rock face on this corner section. It's missing quite a fair bit that all the other ones have. That's because I am completely out of this piece here. I ordered like 200 of them at the beginning of this mock, and I'm now out of them, and I've still not finished barely any of the trees, so I will need to make a big order of those. And also I want to put a lot more just cheese slopes, especially on this bottom section here, just to like tighten it up a little bit. Sorry that my voice is now sounding a little bit weird. I got sick between the last two clips, but besides that, we're all good. I can still build, still got my hands. So as I said, this is the corner around here. This will be kind of like, because this is now moving away from the rock face, this is how my, what do you call it, platform, border even, is going to work, just like that, with these minifigure stands. And then you can see how it's transitioning into the sand here. And obviously this will connect right up next to this one here. That's how that connects. So now I need to work along a bit and getting my next base plate done here, which is where I'm going to start to stretch out. I have already built that section, so this rock will quickly disappear, but I film everything out of order. It will eventually make sense by the end. Okay, this entire video is going to go down to one piece that makes this all work. This piece here, this Technic piece. And you might think, just by looking at it, that a piece like this would fit directly into a piece like this in the bottom, where the holes would connect and they'd line up evenly on the bottom. Fun fact, they don't. Because when they're put together, they create this, which does not actually line up. Like if I put it onto the edge here, you can see that there is actually a height difference between the left and right side. That height difference is half a plate, meaning that when I come down to here and I connect these two bits up and I have the brick side hanging over, there is exactly a plate's distance from the table and the base plate, meaning that if I were to take this little module, connect it onto the edge of this, and then place that onto the edge of this, it all lines up. The plate and the base plate are connected together, meaning that I now have my diagonal angle, which is what I wanted, without having to cut any base plates here. I'm super happy that this works, because I'll be honest, I wasn't entirely expecting it to. And so from here on out, I can just keep having that angle flying down that way and it being all fine with being plates for that section. This will still mainly be put on base plates, but just for this angle section, I will be connecting it using this little technique. I don't know where I found it. It's not my technique. I didn't come up with it. I think I found it on Instagram somewhere, but it works, and I'm super happy that it works, because it now means that this mock is not going to be a complete disaster with this angle that I designed weeks ago without actually thinking of how to integrate it. But now I've got my method, and I'm now ready to build this base plate. Okay, so I've been making some really good progress on the mock. Basically, you can see here I've got my prototype, not my prototype, this will be the final build in my hand. You can see here I've got that technique down, and it fits like a little glove, just working plates next to tiles. You can see it will create like a slight dip. Obviously this will be straight together, but it will create that half plate dip between the two minifigure base plates, but I don't think that's that noticeable. That'll be the main part where you see where the plate height changes. And then I've got the angle at a 45-degree angle running down that way. This is achieved via using wedge plates. On top of that is a second layer of wedge plates. On top of that is a line like this in between these two different types of modified tiles. On top of that is studs, which will connect to more of these plates, and that is held in place by two hinge plates running like that. So it's some nice intricate little work here that create this lovely little angle. On the other side of it will be this, slightly raised up. On each of those will be two cheese slopes running each side to keep this looking straight, to basically be a backside border to this little bit, because on this side will just be the lake continuing. But this is my current prototype. I don't think in its current, looking at it now, I'm starting to change my mind, but I don't think this angle is long enough. It's currently, this base plate is 16 studs, and it goes another 16 studs this way. But I think I want to put it another 16 studs, so it's going 32 studs down this way. This will mean, once again, the mock overall is getting another few base plates bigger, which I should probably stop doing. But this is just so that one of the main features of the base is these giant waterfalls running out the side of it under these giant windows, and I do want to make those quite big. But basically the cliff will run from here, so that means the base will also run adjacent down here. That means the only space I've got for those outlining bits in the waterfall is just 16 studs, which I don't think is enough to achieve what I really want. So I think I'm going to go for another 16 to make it 32 studs here. Meaning currently this base plate is one grey base plate wide, and then one green base plate wide. By doing this, it goes to a base plate wide, and then it goes and a. Oh, I've just realised something. That my initial plan and sketch of this was that this angle was going to be much bigger than it is. I've actually just built half the angle I was intending to. Alright, okay, that makes a lot more sense then, because I thought that, like, this isn't as big as I really wanted it to be. But then I realized, no, this is actually, I just haven't built it big enough as the sketch said yet. So actually everything is going to be fine. I just need to build this twice as long as it is. But you can see here, this is where it's going to attack, and it's already running off the table. So basically double that here. Yeah, I'm going to have to do something with the rest of the mock to move it, because it's not going to fit on the table after this week's episode. Right, it's a little bit later, and I think this is where we're going to end tonight's progress. I've basically doubled the length of this, as I said. It's now 32 studs long. Slight issue, for some reason, these hinge plates now don't work as well as these two. They used to line up exactly, but now it's half plate across, so I'm not sure why that's not working, but still got that other side. This will obviously be raised a little bit and met on the other side with a similar build, and then along the side of this will be more minifigure plates like that. But I'm really happy with how this turned out. It's exactly what I wanted, and as I said, that'll connect to the base plate and stretch nice outlay there to get a really nice waterfall look. So yeah, I will see you tomorrow and see what progress I get done by then. Okay, so it is now the next day, and major progress has been made, if you cannot tell. I think yesterday I had like a small strip of this, and then none of this was here. So I probably should have put something in between clips, but here we are. So basically I've built now, besides this light corner here, I've built the border. You can see I'm using a lot of these minifigure plates, as I said. Goes down there and nicely, I really love how I got this angled curve in here. Curves around, and that'll go straight out to the end of the mock. This is going to be, so you can see, same water pattern as before. I am desperately running out of dark green plates, so you can see why the river curves like it does here, and why a lot of it is dark tan. These cutout spaces where I'll put rocks jumping out. I probably won't make this one as big as it currently is. I just wanted a slightly bigger one, but that's basically to represent that. And then, yeah, I'm really happy with how this turns out. This is an engineering marvel. It's basically what's going on here is it's built in two separate angles. So you can see that on top of there, it just looks like it's simple studs on plate, just like raised up a little bit. But if you look this way, you can see the studs are going the other way around like that. And that's because basically if I were to pull some of these off, they're actually two entirely separate little modules, where this is basically a strip of snot bricks with tile on top, so that these two bits are not actually connected to each other. So that, like, you can see that all of this moves as one together individually. And then if I flip this around for you, you can see that up on stilts are these kind of like wedge bricks, and then attached to the underside of those comes up a little platform to put these bricks on around here. And I really like how this has come off with all these tiles, these like different modified tiles. They're an absolute savior in this mock, or for this section at least, and I really love how all of this comes around together so smoothly. And I've got black on the underside here because this may be seen a little bit if you're looking right round, but so I've got that nice and angled together. Unfortunately, there's not a great wedge piece to connect two of these together, so I've got like, that's a Travis brick there with two cheese slopes on each side. But I really like how this all came together. Still working out this corner right now, but I realized I had to shoot something because it's been some time. And as I said before, this is the water technique going around here. So yeah, really happy with how this looks. Really glad that this has come together, basically fitting my idea in my head. And I think I am much happier with this size, because before it would be 16 over that way instead of the 32 that it is. So it would stop like there, and then that would be it. It definitely needs to be as big as it currently is just now. Yeah, definitely will not fit on the table now, so that's why I've got this smaller table out to basically work on this as a side station, because all of my desks are now full of Lego and random just crap, so I need to sort that out. But here we are with this section, and I'm really happy with how this has come together. So yeah, now I'm going to work on connecting it to the mountain and actually building that mountain section which I was talking about at the beginning of the video. And there we go. We've now got all the bits together. You can see we've now got the full cliffside coming right round from here right down there. And yeah, it took a while to get there, but here we are. This is now connected. As you can see, it's completely hanging off the table. Yeah, I'll get onto that in a second. But basically, you can see here, that's the full mountain connecting through around the side. And that does line up there, the dark tan to the dark green. I will fill in all these rocks and stuff later. And there'll be a nice sandy beach continuing here, which will probably end about there, and then this will all be covered in trans blue tile. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this is coming across now, but I think that's going to wrap it up for this week with this nice new base plate on the cards and ready to go, as well as finishing up this mountain corner piece. Next week, as you can see, this is now longer than the table is, so that's not going to do particularly. So what I'm going to have to do is move this. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I've also got the section that goes inside there, which is on the table over that way, but that table's a mess now, so I'm not going to show it to you at this precise moment. But the plan for next week is to basically move this base plate, those two base plates, and this big base plate on the left here. Keep these three, and just move that along to this side over here. So I've now got space to build out the... Even then, I think that's not going to be enough space. If I put this base plate literally at the edge of the table here, I still don't think I'll have enough space that'll cover the entire length I want this mock. This is going to be a big mock, as I've said before. With the length that this now stretches to here, I think this is this 32 or is this 48? I think I'm about 2 48 by 48 base plates long, and then that'll be about 6 42 by 42 base plates going that way, or maybe 4. I'm not sure yet. I haven't figured out the exact size. It's going to be big. Yeah. So next week the plan is to move all of this, and I'm going to go through the full process of me moving it. I might get that final back base plate done over there because I kind of keep forgetting about it. So I might do the foliage over there. That's not particularly interesting. Stuff like trees, which I've been waiting ages to do. At this point, I'm just going to save that towards the end because I'm not really interested in building those at the moment. I just really want to get along with actually moving towards the final base section. So yeah, the next stage of this mock will be basically moving this stuff, moving it to the side, and then laying out what I want to go for the second half of the mock. Because I think this will be about... I've been calling this ground section 40% of the mock lengthwise, and then there'll be the big bridge. You can see there, that's where the bridge will connect to. Connecting over here to whatever I put over there. Well, the base will go over there, but I need to build the bridge first. And then all the fun interior stuff. So yeah, you can see the mock's finally coming along. It's taken a while to get here. I'm sorry that I keep skipping episodes, but I just don't want to have minimal progress in a week. That's why I wanted to get this done. Still absolutely in love with this border. Need to change out this piece here because it keeps showing through. Besides that, absolutely in love with this border. So hopefully you like that as well. And I'm happy I got this technique down and it works, because I was worried for the longest time about how I'm going to make this work. Yes, again, technically you can see that one of these is... These minifocus stands here are slightly lower than these ones, but that does not really matter in the long run. I'm just happy that it wasn't a complete disaster. So thank you very much for watching this week's update. If you liked it, like the video. That's what the like button's there for. Comment if you think this is a good idea, and comment if you're excited to see me move on to new stuff. Oh my goodness, can you believe it? And subscribe if you want to see that new stuff, because that's the only way you're going to be able to do it. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to try and start speaking because I'm getting really nasally because I'm sick. And goodbye.